This time on Woody's Garage, we work on some moldy oldies and get slimy.
Well, it's like middle of the winter, mid-January 2021, and I had this crazy idea about pulling this old Ariens Snowblower out that, yes, I've had running, yes, I've had working. One thing about it, it's got a really sweet HS50 on it. And I was thinking of taking this engine off and using it on that Broncco Minibike and putting a 7 horsepower in its place. I have 3 other old Arienses. You can see over here. Yeah, they just sit there. It's kind of a shame. It, like, one time over like 6 months I got them all and got them all running, and I don't really use them, but they all have nice Tecumsehs on them. Like I said, they all work and stuff like that. They don't work as good as the other ones I have though. So I think the first thing to do is to see if we can get it running again. Now this one I know has some kind of weird setup that it has like a safety hitched up to. I think this handle, like, you have to hold this while you pull start it. It's kind of stupid, or it kills the spark. Obviously I'd like to eliminate that when I do the update, because that's just nutty, considering the pull start's kind of on the other side. But regardless, let's see if we can get this one running. I always run them dry. I don't leave gas in them, that's for sure. Helps. Another thing I like about this engine is it doesn't have well, maybe it does have the electric start capability down here, but it doesn't have that big bump, which is kind of nice. And of course the carb is leaking, but it's got an on-off, so I just flipped it off so it won't keep leaking, but I got gas in it. So we'll just see what happens when I pull it over. That's full choke. It definitely will run. Yeah, so out of shape. I'm pulling on it. It's really hard to hold this in, which is like a double choke. Primes it a little bit, and to pull it. It wants to go. Oh. Took a couple of screws out of here. There's one up there. These are always just like a little weird to get off, but maybe I'm getting used to it. And there's our carb. Bowl's kind of hanging up. There's no drain. Oh yes, there is a drain on it. Oh, look at that really gross looking fuel. Get that out of there. That's clearer looking. That could help. Let's give it another shot. See, this is let me get you closer. If you're unfamiliar with these, so you got a choke that closes it, but there's still a couple of little holes in there. When you push this one in, it holds it completely shut, so it sucks more gas into the throat of the carburetor. But you got to hold this thing with your hand. At least I don't think it locks. I've never found a way to lock it. And then pull a pull start, which is very awkward. I guess that's why they have electric starts. runs. Alright, I've done this cover. It's beat to crap. There's always some kind of magic way to get these out of here. I guess I got it. I have fixed it before, and I'll fix it again. But one thing I'm looking for here is to see what size shaft it has. I guess that's the shaft right there. Oh, and it has to have a secondary. Oh, damn. Okay, that could change everything, because the other engine does not have that. So our candidate was going to be this guy, this 7 horsepower, really ugly Tecumseh, but as you see, does not have the secondary drive, which by the way comes out of the camshaft, which turns slower than the crankshaft. I had some engines down there, none of them have it. I thought they did. I had one 5 horse that I actually cut it off of. So I can't use that one anymore. I do have a 4 horse that does have it, but it's, you know, to drop down to 4 horse might not be really worth it. That's the, if you can see it, I don't know if you can see it, well, it's really dark. That's the 4 horse that I have, and it's got the second shaft on it. It's a little different, but I think it's the same size. I may end up doing it. I don't know, I gotta think about it. So now I may switch gears. The Ariens that was in front of that one that I pulled out to pull the engine off of has a dry rotted tire, and it's the same size as this. This was a tire and wheel that came on my little Indian mini bike, which was obviously it's off a tractor or an old snowblower or something like that, and wouldn't work for it, so it's been kicking around. The tire looks good. The rim is just a solid rim. I broke the bead. It broke really easy. I was kind of surprised. I thought there was going to be a fight. Didn't even want to bother putting it on camera. But now we got to see if we can pry the old tire that still feels pretty supple out of this rim. And I think we can do that. Put my gloves on. I like changing tires about as much as I like cleaning gas tanks. Which is not very much. Yeah, get in there. Okay, maybe this won't be too bad. Is. That is a cute little hub, isn't it? Can you believe that? That's for a 4-inch wheel. Isn't much good for anything though. And I believe the Ariens has a split rim, so we shouldn't fight it so much. And I think it has a tube too. This is actually tubeless. It's an old it's an old Monitor. Yeah, Monitor. I thought it was a Chin Shing or a Carlisle, but it isn't. It's a Monitor. Never heard of that brand. It's got a good tread. Here we are with these guys. Under the tarps. And you can see that tire is completely flat. And we got to pull it out of here. Yeah, you can see all the dry rot. And of course there's chains on it too to make it more complicated. And this cap, you pull right off. Little PB blaster. And yeah, it's a split rim. You can tell because there's some nuts and bolts in it. So, looks like about a 1/2 inch. Maybe let that soak for a second. I also just thought of this. The profile's got to be the same too, because these vary in height. This one is has some air in it, and yeah, it looks like they're kind of different. Shit. Strike 2 today, huh? Well, maybe with air in it. And chains. You know. And that's uninflated, right on the ground. Shit. Ah, fuck. This one also, it's got a tube in it. And I remember last time I tried to move it, the tube wouldn't fill it up. So it's got a hole in it too. Because, yeah, I mean, it could be this dry rotted and put a tube in it and it would actually work. Oh, let's take it off anyway. Let's see if they budge. Yep, they do. That's the toughest one. When they feel like that, I'm a little loose, put some more juice on them. Let them sit so they don't snap. They're terrific leaves and everything. You gotta get something underneath the blower so I can pop it off. Well, I think I gotta do something with this too. It's just a cotter pin. I want to take this one all the way off first. Or is it just spinning? I think this one's just spinning. Shit. How in the hell do you get to that? You can't get to that. So you pull a whole axle out. Oh, that's bad news. Remember these inflator extensions were popular in the 70s? Alright, we set it up like we do the others. These you can't just lean forward. You need a piece of Broncco wood or something so that it won't just topple over. One thing I think that's really funny that I got sort of a clear sight back. I'm sure you can't see a thing. But what I realized, I thought these were the lugs because they were bigger. But these are the lugs, the little tiny ones. So I guess we get a second chance at this. We'll pull this centerpiece out too. Kind of an oversized cotter pin. It's being a dick. Yeah. There it is. This whole thing is just to hold that plastic cap on. That's it. I think it's also designed to give you a hard time. Get off, bitch. Yeah, I get a couple of screwdrivers behind it. I got that off. Mangled it up a little bit, but we'll straighten it out. I think we're gonna, well, no. I think it's gonna be a hard time to get it off, but this is where the rim is, I think. I had to take that thing off just to get to these guys. Nothing's easy, huh? I just don't want to get to the point that, you know, I realize, well, you gotta get a new tire and tube. Or something I don't even use. That's kind of crazy. At this point that I wonder why I don't just get rid of them. That's nice. I dropped the socket, it went in the dirt, and I put the dirt onto the nut. Yeah, just spinning. Everything's just spinning. Yeah, I'm putting air into it. And it's definitely leaking. Because what I'm thinking right now is, boy, I just like to put it away. Because I can't get to those bolts behind it unless I pull a whole axle out. And that's a huge job. And I don't even really have the right tire to do it. So I'm going to try putting some slime in here. See if that does any good. I don't think so. Now I know they make slime for tubes and for tires. This is for tires. And it's all I got. I don't see how it could be any different, but there is also a little bit of evidence that I've tried to do this before. If you don't know, this is just kind of some gunk with little pieces of rubber and stuff in it that supposedly, like on their way out of the hole, they block the hole. And as the wheel goes around, this stuff stays liquid and seeks out the new holes and stuff like that. And honestly, sometimes it works miracles. Sometimes it doesn't work at all. This would be great if it worked, huh? See this stuff a mile away. hear it hissing. I can hear it, the sound of it changing as the slime goes by. Like right there, it's getting less. I can feel the air coming out of it. Yeah, I'm doubtful. This is like when you want to fill it up with the right stuff, that foam crap. Just, you know, it'll hold it until at least you can move the thing around. That's pretty disappointing. Well, believe it or not, it might be holding, but I doubt for long. I'm going to keep spinning it around, adding air, and I think we're actually just going to put this one away. I'm thinking for the other one, since I pulled it out, let's see if we can get it running a little bit better, and maybe we'll try it in the next snow. I know it wasn't that good for throwing snow, it just kind of pukes it out of the chute. But, I don't know. Back to the other one. Let's see what's in this carburetor bowl. It seems to have stopped leaking since I purged the gas with the drain valve. And it should be somewhat clean in here because I certainly have cleaned this carburetor probably about 5-6 years ago. Oh yeah, that's some good looking stuff there. Nice and clean brown. Ooh, there we are. That's some sludge over there. Oh yeah, that's why we catch it, so we can spill it on the ground. I'll clean that goop out of there. That bowl's not bad, a little stained. Look at the main jet here. And so many times I need to turn it in. It's a half, that's a 1, it's a 1 1/4. Pretty standard adjustment there. The carb just keeps leaking even though the valve's off. This doesn't look too bad. We'll spray it out though. Some have they got a hole there, but some have a little hole up here too. Yeah, there it is. Right there. You gotta make sure those are clean. Okay, we leaned it forward like the other one. It's on its front. You get a better look at this float. And I think I'm going to take the float out and clean this rim here. Stop the gas from dripping this way too because it's leaning forward and the gas is in the down direction. Yeah, we did everything with brake cleaner, which is acetone, basically. Sprayed some up here. There's a little rubber seal in there, so you really shouldn't spray much, but I did. And up in here, and up in this little hole here. Generally cleaned it off. Put it back together. That's on. This low part sits to right where the pin is. So I pulled the kill wire off, which attaches right up in there to a terminal, because I think it was keeping me from having spark. It's intermittent with the safety lever here. button it up and see how it works. I just don't have a way to shut it off now. But that intermittent switch, I remember when I was working on it years ago, would give me a really hard time. You'd have to hold it in sometimes to start it up. And it's weird. I mean, it's like, what does it do? I don't know. But we got a bypass now. And let's try this thing in the next snowstorm. Just reassemble and see how it does. Okay, cover's on. We put a piece of duct tape on the inside of this. Hold it together. I want to look at what the drive wheel looks like. Just because I do. It's got such a little tiny wheel. Everything looks pretty clean in here. Look at that weird switch thing there. Like, what is it? I don't know, there's a whole harness going to it. And everything looks pretty well lubed too. Alright. Move the gear shift a little bit, it runs on this shaft. You see as the wheel moves out, that's how it gets faster. Or, that's the fastest right there, that's fourth. And this is one. And this is reverse. Very slow reverse on this thing. Drive you crazy. But everything moves really well. I might dab a little more grease on it. Yeah, it looks fine. Why put more? Back to the dry rot tire. I'm going to get some air into it. Put it back into storage, I think. There's not much we can do. It's sort of holding. I'm sure it's going to leak out, though.
The chariot race, an idea they borrowed from Muzzo's capital, only with steady steel horses instead of the wonky wop ones. And what's more, they're advancing.
Even in the 30s in Australia, they had their versions of chariot racing, but Rome was never like this. It's a great race with Mark Antony just ahead of Caesar as they head for the Colosseum. Well, they're heading for something.